All right, thank you for joining. This is MATIC USDT on the Binance chart. Today I wanted to go ahead and do a technical analysis on MATIC network, seeing that there is a lot of interesting news hovering around what's up and coming in the next few weeks. So with that being said, I thought this would be a great time to then dive a little bit deeper into the MATIC chart. And as you can see, today we'll go ahead and start on the monthly time frame, right? So we already marked out a lot of our high time frame levels. I had a lot of levels and trends pulled from my previous video, which we'll dive into a little bit later, and go ahead and adjust some of these trends which might have been broken, some of these supports, resistance, and daily, monthly, or weekly levels that have been tapped. We'll go ahead and clean up this chart a little bit just to see exactly what we're looking at and where we're targeting when it comes to MATIC on a higher time frame analysis, right? So for now, let's go ahead and take off some of the key levels. We'll take off some of the trends, take off the fixed range volume profile, and we'll just leave the high time frame levels up on this chart. So as for now, let's go ahead and see which levels have been tapped. So when it comes to the monthly, this level's up there. We already marked that. There's a monthly level right here too as well, which looks like I did miss. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the chart. Pull that into the high time frame group. Monthly level also not tapped yet. Let's go ahead and dive down to the weekly. So any other weekly levels? Nope, these aren't tapped. There is actually a weekly level right here, so let's go ahead and pull that out. This weekly level is lining up right below the monthly, so right away I already know this is going to be a very important resistance zone, right? Which it kind of looks like that's exactly where it's targeting right now. You have the weekly also curving up on the RSI. Volume increasing, so from the previous weeks we have increase in volume, also a bullish sign. So with that being said, with the monthly and weekly level right above from where price is right now, I would not be surprised if we do get a push into this level, which would be 20% from here, right? And this is just looking at the weekly time frame. So with that being said, any other levels? Not really. There is a weekly here. Go ahead and move that. This has already been tapped, so we could go ahead and remove that. Let's go ahead and dive into the daily, right? So daily, yeah, see there's a daily level also lining up right below the weekly and monthly level, so extremely high confluence area right here. There's another daily right above it. I could add it. Not really as important, but we'll go ahead and add that still. Let's see here. Yeah, not sure what's going on out there, but anyways, we'll stick to the charts. So let's see here. This daily level has been tapped, but that was pretty recently, so I'm actually going to keep this one on the chart just a little bit longer. We'll go ahead and remove this one. This level has been tapped. As you can see, if you actually watched my previous videos and you were monitoring MATIC when it came up to this level, you probably could have entered a short once this daily level was tapped and closed below and picked up around a 5% move to the downside, but that would be a very aggressive short trade to enter. As you can see, the level was flipped, back tested, and went higher. Blasted through this daily level, but it did backtest it as support, and now it did backtest it a few more times. So we're going to go ahead and actually remove this. No longer as relevant. This one also is not as relevant. This is now a daily level here. This is now a daily level here. Let's go ahead and adjust those. All right, daily level here as well, untapped, new day. This daily is tapped, but I still want to go ahead and leave that. Now I want to see if there's any other fibs that line up with it. So let's see from before. I know I don't really have any fibs pulled, but let's go ahead and pull these all into the high time frame group. See some key levels. It was swing failure on the lows. That's probably on the 4-hour pivot. It's pretty far away, but it was tapped. Not as relevant. Go ahead and delete that. You could actually go ahead and put a swing failure line up there, because maybe we might get a push to the upside, right? What is going on here? Okay, so maybe we might get a push to the upside, turn this into support, tap this, grab some liquidity, and come back in. And then that's when it would be nice to enter a short trade right there. So we're going to go ahead and leave that. I'm also going to go ahead and put an alert on that level too as well. So if we do tap that level, we'll go ahead and just see what the rest of the market is looking like. And by the rest of the market, I say ETH and Bitcoin. Now, seeing that we have this major confluence level right above us, right? This is really where the target is. So I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up doing something more like this, right? Comes up, taps all these levels, grabs some liquidity before continuing down and back testing maybe this high right here, or whichever daily or weekly level develops in the long run, right? So if we go ahead and zoom in, yeah, maybe we'll get another weekly support level here to backtest as a stronger support. But as of now, this is pretty much the target. That's where I think MATIC is aiming to go. We have a very strong trend, as you can see. Very strong trend. So until this trend breaks, there's no real reason to be bearish on this project, especially with a lot of the good news coming out. All right, let's go ahead and dive in a little bit closer. So on a more local time frame, we can see we had an impulse higher rejection from this daily level after it was tapped. So that's why these levels are so important. Excuse me, because, you know, just off that initial reaction, even if you were to get in now, that's a 4% move to the downside, right? Even if price is going to continue higher, a lot of these levels, once they're tapped and rejected, there is a pretty big move in the opposite direction, right? Let's go ahead and dive in a little bit closer. So as we can see, it is now trading in between the monthly level and the daily level. So this is in fact a range, right? This is a range. Little deviation, major deviation, came back in. Now it's just back testing and staying in between the daily and monthly levels here. You know, we could get a push to the downside and retest this trend line one more time, which would be another 7% drop to the downside, but that's why we go ahead and pull some of our fibs. So from the lows to the high. Let's go ahead and see if the 0.5 lines up with anything. So that's where it is setting right now. So it came all the way back down to the 0.5. It's finding support there right now. So yeah, we can get a move up from this level. Test the daily one more time. Maybe even test this, flip this as support before continuing higher and going after these levels up here, right? So MATIC is looking pretty bullish. There's nothing on the chart that really shows bearish from what I'm looking at here. Let's go ahead and look at some of the trends that I drew. So this one's a little bit more wide, just going from the low to the low. It's a little bit more accurate. Let's see too as well. You can also, let's see if we pull it from this pivot low after the breakout of the trend. All right, it is pretty close. It's multiple touch points, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, came back down, 4, and had a very nice reaction off that level. So we're just waiting to see what MATIC does. You know, right now, I wouldn't really be looking too long unless it comes back down and touches this monthly level like what it did a little bit more locally. If we do get that test again, then I would be looking to long. I mean, right here is also a support and resistance zone, so it's not a terrible area to enter along, but you are a little bit more aggressive. And there's nothing wrong with being an aggressive trader. You just have to make sure you manage your risk. So for now, if you were to enter this trade and enter a long, right, targeting here, you have to see if the risk reward is a little bit more worth it. So in my opinion, you'd really want to target the previous high, 10% away, or this major confluence level. This is really the area of interest, right? 20% higher. Then you could go ahead and place your stops either right below these pivots. The safest spot, in my opinion, would be down here, but that's about a 5% difference, right? That's why I was saying the monthly level is probably the best area to look for a long position, because if we do get a little correction, come down a little bit lower, now you're talking a 2.5% risk, placing your stop loss below this pivot low right here. Targeting now, it's about what, 23%. So with 23% probability, well, 23% gain, your risk reward is 8 to 1, which is amazing. So for every $100 you put in, you could possibly make 800. Well, for every dollar you put in, yeah, 8 to 1 risk reward, right? Which is pretty nice. So that's how you want to manage your risk. Definitely above 2 to 1 for sure. This is a nicer entry for me. I would expect price to do something like this, come down, tap some levels, reclaim the monthly, start moving a little bit higher, targeting these higher prices, right? And that's when I would be a lot more confident, is once we reclaim these levels. So then you could wait for it to reclaim the monthly, or you can wait for it to reclaim this support zone right here, which is probably might be the best one. Early entry though would be that monthly level, which is still a valid level to enter. Plus, if you look, this is a very interesting zone. You have the golden pocket, monthly level, daily right below, and a couple other fibs lining up, right? So we're just going to see how this plays out. But in my opinion, MATIC is looking more bullish than bearish, and I expect a bigger move to the upside as long as Bitcoin does not dump. Bitcoin was looking a little bit more bearish, so that's something to keep in mind, in my opinion. I think we're going to get a move down on Bitcoin very shortly. We had this trend that was just holding up, but it finally broke out, back tested this trend line multiple times, could not close above it, right? It's been a few days now, and what usually happens when Bitcoin breaks such trends is a move to the downside, right? So you can kind of see like what happened here, broke down. It's just like typical Bitcoin. This is more like what we're seeing now, right? Sideways action, finally broke out, back tested this trend a few times, and then look what happened. Boom, right? It just happens over and over again. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to play out. Boom, boom, you wait here, comes out, back tests, slowly bleeds out, dumps, and then continues a little bit higher. Did it again here, and look what's happening. Broke out. So what do you expect, right? I would expect a move to the downside. If we're going to go ahead and pull some fibs from the lows to the highs, yeah, look, it lines up right there at the value area high around 49,000, which would be an extra 4% down. And with altcoins like MATIC, for instance, that's probably about a 10-15% move to the downside, which would in fact have it end up, look, 10 right there, look at that, at the daily level and on that trend line, right? 15%, pretty close, right? Pretty close to this daily level. If it does go down that low, then you'd really be expecting something like this, boom, reclaim before moving a little bit higher. But that's the worst case scenario right now for MATIC, is a little dump because of Bitcoin. And if it does, I think these are the key levels to really keep in mind, right? If Bitcoin drops 4%, expect to move down about 10%. It's usually about double. But yeah, that's pretty much it with MATIC. Thank you for watching. Follow me on X. Been posting some updates. Bonk did look pretty interesting. Like, subscribe to this YouTube channel. It really, really means a lot. Only 103 followers. I can't even say only, because about a week ago I only had about 70 followers. So thank you guys ladies and gentlemen, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for following my account. Remember to like and subscribe. Follow me on TradingView as well, right? So I do post there. I did post about bonk. It did move down a little bit, but it's still pretty much holding this level, right? So it went up and now it's holding this level. It could go down, sweep these lows, but that's why it's risk management. And then SWE, I think, is continuing my bearish outlook. So I bounced off this support. Let's see if it's going to continue to the upside. But I was targeting this golden pocket below. So follow me on TradingView. Follow me on X. Post updates quite regularly. Jump into my Telegram. I have I update that a lot more often too as well, because that's where I take the trades. It's a free Telegram channel. You can watch where I actually take the trades, and you can see what did I post before, right? Entered a short here on AVAX on the back test of the monthly level. Got the nice move down, 5%. A little bit later, I was 2x, so I took out about 8%, closed it out, and look, it tapped the level pretty much exactly to where I was targeting. Quant is holding up a little bit. It's holding strong support at these levels. So yeah, anyway, I do update a lot, trying to make sure that I provide the best content, trading content possible. And once again, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe to the video, and leave a comment down below with what project you would like to see me chart, okay, and do a technical analysis on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care.